and welcome back to another exciting podcast episode of American Pylon. Your host here, Will Mehall, joined by my counterparts, James Thomas Fanning IV, Tyler Combs, and our producer, Dave Grayson, behind the mic and the tech, making all of this happen. We've got a little bit to talk about today. We're going to talk mostly about Atlanta sports, probably work in some Mount Rushmore discussions, and we really came into this podcast with no plan, so that's kind of the most fun that we have is when we kind of do a lot of this stuff off the cuff. So, but before we jump into anything, I want to give a shout out to our partners at In We Go. For just $30 a month, you get unlimited access to events in and around the city. It's now live in Atlanta, Denver, Phoenix, Washington, D.C., and the St. Pete area down in Florida. So if you like sporting events, brewery tours, comedy shows, anything like that, be sure to check out In We Go. And now, if you plug in the promo code Pylon into the promo box, you'll get $10 off your first month. So be sure to check them out at In We Go.
Going to see the Hawks next week, right? Is that the plan?
Maybe.
Tyler's texting
TBD. Who are they playing?
I don't know. Somebody. Basketball.
Well, we did go and see them. They released those tickets for Warriors versus the Hawks.
We all got
last minute.
That.
And we had, decent seats. We were actually sitting half court, which is abnormal. Normally you're behind one goal or the other. It was pretty cool. I got to be honest. I don't follow the Hawks closely whatsoever, or NBA basketball for that matter. But it was still pretty cool to see Steph Curry was back. This was his first game back. And Kevin Durant. I got to say that I think a lot of those tickets hadn't sold out to begin with because Steph had been out.
Yeah.
And so when they realized, okay, we've got a lot of open seats, we're probably going to release a lot of these tickets to In We Go. We took full advantage. It was a lot of fun.
Sure.
Do the Hawks tier the price of their tickets based on who we're playing? Do you guys know?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I had a ticket too, but my friend was in town from out of town with his girlfriend, so they didn't have tickets. So we were just going to go up to the box office and buy nosebleeds, and the cheapest tickets available in the 300 level were $145
For the Warriors game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was face value too. Those weren't resale tickets or anything.
Yeah, which I was like...
Yeah, he's in town from Australia. He's road tripping across the U.S., which is pretty cool, but they're on, budget, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so they were and I guess basketball is kind of a cult following over there, the way we kind of follow soccer here, or some people do. And he was like, yeah, I'd really like to see Steph Curry. He's everybody's favorite player in Australia. And they were like, it's $140. And we're like, nope.
Yeah.
That doesn't
go drink a beer.
It wasn't worth that.
No.
I don't think. Again, I'm with these guys, unfortunately. We love sports, football mainly, but we watch all sports. But NBA in particular, I think it's because the Hawks are so bad, and it's never grabbed the city's attention all that well. I don't think we really even appreciated seeing KD, Steph Curry, even
other
Klay
people.
Thompson.
Well, yeah.
We didn't even appreciate them playing down there. They're down some of the best players in the world, or maybe they ever play some of the top 100, 250, whatever. We're gonna rank them, or right down there in front of us, and we're just like, this is a casual event.
Yeah, but I gotta say,
I'm the top 100 players in the world is just the entire NBA.
How many of all time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta say, I wouldn't spend that kind of money to see a basketball game. I just no matter what game it was, I don't have.
I would spend that to see an NBA Finals game, but
Yeah,
more for the clout of seeing a sport championship.
Exactly, but that's also the same way that I looked at this game. I wouldn't have spent $140 to see a regular season Warriors Hawks matchup, but going the way that we did, I was all in, and I'm kind of the mindset, and maybe you guys are too, that if I have the opportunity to see some of the greatest players that will probably go down in history, even if I'm not a fan of that team, or if it's a team even that I don't like, I would take the opportunity given. If I was given it to go and see them,
that'd be free. Cool. Who's the best basketball player y'all have seen live?
Probably the Warriors.
Probably Steph Curry.
Yeah,
I saw Kobe in his prime. I saw Kobe in an NBA Finals game.
It'd be Steph Curry because I had a chance to see Michael Jordan, but he was in the Wizards. He was in the Wizards.
Okay, that's fake Michael Jordan.
Tyler, did you go to the Georgia Southern game when he played for what was it, Davidson?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, really? Did you guys know how good?
No, I tried. I went to go get tickets.
I don't think anybody did.
I went to go get tickets, and they sold out in 20 minutes.
You guys would have been freshmen, right? Because I feel like I was in high school when Curry was tearing it up.
But see, I missed it to the same reason.
Yeah, I tried to go get tickets, and
so everybody knew he was going to be.
Oh yeah, it was the biggest game of the year. It was crazy.
It was States
Pro. And I didn't actually know who he was until that game. Like,
Really?
I didn't
Yeah.
know he
Same
was
here.
until
Same here, yeah.
I was like,
NBA.
who is this guy that our whole school is selling out to go see?
Well, they went to like the Elite Eight that year, right, or the final. They made it pretty far of just him dragging the team, like kicking and screaming
Yeah,
through
I
the
couldn't
tournament.
tell you
I
who made the
remember
Elite Eight in 2000.
that. Speaking of that, I watched my first
9.
full college basketball game that was not March Madness in like 4 years. This
Who
week.
was
Really?
it?
Tennessee Gonzaga, number 7 versus number 1, and there was like 7 lead changes, and Tennessee won by like 2 points. It was a really good game.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dude,
Did y'all go to that
they have a
game?
guy named Admiral, which is pretty cool.
Did you
He
go
had,
to
like
the
30 points?
Tennessee UGA game that one year? Tennessee was ranked really
I went
high.
to that when Tennessee won.
When we were in college?
No, we won.
I went
yeah,
to the one when Tennessee won. That was
we won. Yeah, we were.
We
in
used to
college.
try to go to the Kentucky game in
Yeah,
college just
Florida.
to see whoever they would have.
yeah. I remember going to the Tennessee game in Stegman our junior year or senior year. I think it was junior year. And Tennessee won a kind of last minute like tip in. They shot like a 3, missed. He jumped up, tipped it in off the rebound, and the stadium just fell silent. Like it just.
Yeah.
See, I saw a lot of those games because I was working
Oh, yeah, you
in the
used to
athletic
work.
department.
Yeah, Will used to
yeah.
give us
So-
free pizza.
I forgot about
That's
that.
why
Yeah.
we would go to the games in the first place.
So for those of you that don't know, I interned in the athletic department for the
No one knows
Which is
that.
literally everyone, unless like your brother is listening. to
If
this
you've
podcast.
if you ever
and
scoped
Dr.
me,
Brent
if you've
Johnson.
ever scoped me out on LinkedIn, you would know. Okay, so
Check them out.
But at any rate, I was at almost all of those games because I had the extremely important job of using the T-shirt cannon and giving away free pizzas to the 15 screaming Georgia fans that were in the student section. It was really sad, I will say, that I wish that basketball was bigger at
Sure.
Georgia. I would never trade what we have
Sure.
for football
Yeah.
for anything else. But
Yeah,
I
I
do
agree with
wish like we had a contender of a team that we could get behind, because when you're in that lull, when football's off, like it'd be nice to have something else to rally behind.
Yeah.
But I remember those games. Those games were a lot of fun. I actually had Jimmy out
Yes.
to
not my finest moment.
Goat of a story
to
here.
participate in a 3-point shooting contest at halftime.
It's a lot of pressure. It turns out when you're on the court, there's a lot of people in the
Yeah.
So
stands.
and
nerve-wracking.
Even at a Georgia game.
Yeah, I hadn't been in front of that big of a crowd since upward basketball in
yeah,
middle school.
but the prize was at the time like a 32-inch TV.
It's a smart
Oh,
TV.
ooh.
Smart TV,
Well,
which
for a college kid.
Yeah,
for a college kid,
That was a big
and
deal,
at that
yeah.
time, that was a big deal. I think it was valued at like a few $100s.
That's why our living room TV was 32 inches. I don't know how
right.
we played Call of Duty on
Yeah,
the split screen.
Back
Yeah.
in our day, that was a good prize.
But I was
Who played
charged.
in regular def.
Yeah, but I was charged with finding the two contestants, and they set it up exactly like you would see in the All-Star Weekend, where you have the racks of balls, and they move from rack to rack shooting, and then you have the money ball. So originally, I knew that Jim and our friend and resident degenerate gambler Eric were going to be attending the game, and I was like, well, this is perfect, because either way, one of our friends is going to walk away with a TV. And Eric had played basketball, so I was like, okay, this is fine. Eric bowed out at the last second.
It wasn't a flopping
He
contest.
refused to go up.
Yeah, he didn't want to
for some
go.
reason.
So I was like, okay. I randomly grabbed some other kid out of the crowd, and
Not a super athletic looking guy.
no,
Try to help Jimmy
there wasn't
out here.
there wasn't a
Yeah.
whole lot of people to pick from, if I'm honest. Again, harkening back to the attendance at UGA basketball games, but we did eventually find another guy. Jim went first, went through every single rack of balls, and it rimmed out,
Rimmed
or
out.
missed
Never airball.
every single one.
Hit the
of-
rim every
of
time,
his
100%
3-point
of the
shots.
time.
And it was hilarious because the crowd would be like, oh, like after every single one. So he misses every single one, and the next kid comes up, and he's going through the racks and is missing every single one. And I've got the headset on with our the person who's in charge of the communications and stuff for the athletic department. She's like, Will, if they don't hit a single one of these shots in front of this crowd, like
You're fired.
we're never doing this again. And he gets to the last rack on the last money ball and sinks a 3, and the place goes absolutely insane.
He beat me
You would have
1-0.
yeah, it was the saddest display
I will
of
say,
basketball prowess I
All
have
of that
ever
is
seen.
the fault of Dr. Brent Johnson, who forgot his student ID and had to go home.
Yeah,
because Brent was the one that was supposed to do it in the first place, and I wasn't
Had to
warmed
settle
up.
for Jimmy.
I hadn't done my meditation that morning, and I just got thrust onto the court at the last minute.
Yeah, exactly. But
Like 96 Michael Jordan with the flu.
I will say that was probably more
Very close.
more
Way
entertaining.
worse.
It was more entertaining than if they had hit like 4 and 6.
Yeah.
Everybody loved it. I'll never forget that. That was the funniest
Missed
thing.
every single one.
That's pretty good. That kind of reminds me, I don't know if anyone saw on social media, there's a video going around Barstool, a popular, I
Never
guess,
heard of it.
One of our
Some other
partners.
podcast.
Yeah, we're acquiring them.
They put it on their page. It says a guy dressed as a hot dog at the halftime competition
was
for
awesome.
Ohio
Funny.
State,
Yeah.
and I think it was if he rang the half court shot, he got like free hot dogs for life at their basketball arena. So he comes up dressed as a hot dog, goes up to the girl, attractive girl who's putting it on, and she goes, "Hi, what's your name?" He goes, "Most people call me Robbie, but you can call me anytime." Just dribbles up, shoots from half court, drains a shot, and people just lost their mind. Like this stupid kid in
That's
the hot
pretty
dog
funny.
uniform. It was a wild. It's funny. I'd advise you to or tell you to check out that video.
Before we jump off the UGA basketball stories,
No, we got time. We got nothing on the docket.
that sophomore year game I was talking about against Tennessee. So we weren't expected to win. I think we.
Are we ever?
Well,
Georgia
we got
basketball's
Tom-
back.
Tom
we have a
Crean
new
now?
coach. Yeah,
well,
we play Tennessee in January. They'll be top 5.
we
It's a big statement win.
we nailed some crazy dunks. Like it was getting, people were getting hyped, and so
Dude, that's what I feel like UGA basketball is good for. They've got a lot of great athletes, not a ton of great basketball players.
yeah.
I can see that.
So anyway, they start coming over the system, and they're saying, okay, no one rush the court, because everyone's getting hyped, right? This doesn't happen, and so they're like, don't rush the court, don't rush the court. Of course, everyone kind of starts surging down to the corner. The first guy takes a run for it and just gets clotheslined by the security guy, and everyone just kind of turns around and goes,
It changes their minds. That's pretty funny.
They were like, you just hear like a ooh, all right, let's go to the dining hall.
That poor kid thought he was starting something.
Go to Snelling and celebrate.
That's sad. That's pretty funny though. Yeah, that wasn't. Unfortunately, like to Will said, I guess it is kind of a letdown a little bit where football ends, and then we kind of rely on recruiting. Kind of carries some of us that are a little bit not hard to keep up with that, and then after that, it's really just a lull of no college sports that I'm interested in, at least, or for most people, or for a school that doesn't have really a powerhouse in another sport.
Did you guys ever go out of your way to attend other sporting events? Like, for instance, gymnastics is huge.
I went to
at the
a
University
Gym
of Georgia.
Dogs meet. It was a ton of fun. I wish I had gone to more.
That was actually one I never got to work.
I've been to like 1 or 2 baseball games.
I've been to several baseball games. Baseball games are pleasant
They're
to
fun,
be
yeah.
at.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of hard to watch
Easygoing.
on TV.
When it was warmer, it was
David
a fun
and I
thing
went
to
to
go
a
do.
Louisville baseball game.
Yeah,
We
I
went
was
to visit.
I was
Alex
going to bring that
D'Agostino.
up. That was a lot of fun because it was free, and then the beers were $1.
Yeah, it was St.
like
they had
Patrick's
beer
Day.
there.
They serve beer
At
at
the ACC baseball game.
I don't know about ACC, but Louisville specifically, they serve beer at baseball
Very
games
cool.
and football games.
That kind of reminds the time when me, Jimmy, myself, degenerate gambler Eric, I believe Adam, we all went to Clemson, and we actually watched Jameis Winston
We
pitch
did.
against Clemson. Florida
Oh,
State
wow.
versus
Fun.
Clemson in
Florida State's
Clemson.
Cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
I saw a
That
game
was the
over at
year he
Clemson.
won the Heisman. It was
Yeah,
the
it was pretty
baseball
cool.
season.
We were watching the
immediately following.
Heisman Trophy winner pitch for a game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I remember going. I went with. I think it was Eric. We went to a Clemson baseball game. This is when I was living in South Carolina. They have a really nice facility.
Yeah,
there.
they do. It was a
And
fun baseball
It's cool because
facility.
you can.
It is
sorry,
it is
you
nice.
can you can pull up and park like right outside the stadium in the grass and tailgate there. So it was a pretty nice setup. The Georgia one's not like and as easy to drive to access.
Yeah.
I like the part of campus it's on, though.
Yeah, I do
The
too.
people listening, if you went to Georgia or been on campus, it's fun to. Remember Cinco de Mayo?
Yes.
That one year we went
was
to.
a great day.
Yeah, we went to Cali. It was Cinco de
Remember
Mayo.
any of that day?
And we
Yeah,
went to Cali and Tito's. I think we made margaritas and brought them because Cali and Tito's is BYOB. This is very UGA specific.
Yeah. I don't even care.
And then
at
we
this
went to the
point.
baseball game, and then we went to a concert that night at the Georgia Theater.
Yeah,
That was
that was
like
a
one of my
blast.
most Georgia days
Yeah.
of college. It was a lot of
Who
fun.
did you guys see?
Jared Neiman.
I couldn't remember who it was.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
That
yeah.
concert was
He
fun.
had the drinking song.
ABC.
A is
ABC,
for
yeah.
Alcohol, B is for beer.
C is for something.
Dude,
Oh,
that's
okay.
awesome.
It was a fun time. It was,
Should
it was
we
a good day.
tell more stories that
Yeah.
only Brent Johnson will get these references, or we
don't
could get a little
How about
broader?
this? I guess not even to wrap that up, but I mean, Athens is a fun town. So if you've never been and you kind of don't want to go during the crazy football time, go check it out now because I mean, it's a fun town. There's always something going on, and I mean, especially when the weather's
Yeah.
warm and it warms up, beautiful campus.
If you could ever go on a Saturday afternoon and make a day out of going to Cali and Tito's and going to a baseball game, and
Yeah.
have dinner downtown at like
It's a
Last
good
Resort or
time.
Five Bar or
Yeah.
something, that'd be really, really
That's a good
pleasant
time.
day.
I spent a lot of time at that ballpark again, just being in the box and doing the promos and stuff. But it was a good time. I'll remember if you guys have ever been to that stadium. There's a house that students
Yeah.
rent out in the right field wall. And those guys are committed, which, I mean, hey, if you're there and you can get a keg and hang outside, like, that's a great time.
They were football players when we were in college.
But they went to some extremes to dig up some dirt on
I've heard about
the
that, yeah.
opposing team's personal lives. So a lot of the time, and they had a bullhorn. So they would sit out there and be like, hey, I talked to your girlfriend, and they would like list the name. Yeah, Stacy Smith, and there's like a picture of the opposing team and be like,
That's pretty good there.
So
I mean, we know the help we can get, really.
I'll tell you.
I remember thinking those houses were really cool. It was our landlord. It was Jeff.
Jeff owned that
owned that
house?
house?
Those houses, yeah.
damn.
Jeff Shirey.
one of
Shout out Jeff. He's a listener. Our
Yeah, I'm
landlord
sure.
from 2011.
we were hanging out with some old Miss guys one time in college, and they were talking about their kind of baseball scene. And they were showing us some videos on YouTube. And I don't know if it's like a weird,
I've seen this.
quirky rule that behind the outfield is like not campus or something. I don't know, but they all the students get in like the corner in the outfield and they drink. They bring champagne. So every time there's like a home run or something crazy, they just throw a champagne
That's
party
fun.
out
Yeah,
there.
that's awesome.
Somebody hits a home run, and it's every single person there, it looks like a giant fountain of like red Solo cups
Dude,
and
that's
beer and
sick.
champagne
Fun.
and stuff. It's pretty cool, yeah.
The moral of the story, though, is to Tyler's point, if you haven't been in the off-season, go. But also, if you're down there, make a point to check out some of the other sporting events. There's a lot of them that are pretty entertaining. I wouldn't say nearly as fun or as rowdy as football. But, again, another way to take in Georgia sports.
Well, we have Olympic swimmers, so
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, I never went to a swim meet or diving or anything.
I worked
practicing.
one.
I took
Mike Phelps was at the
I took lifeguarding
facility
as
at
my
one
PE
point. Yeah.
freshman year.
Mike
so I got
Mike
to
Phelps
swim in
came
that.
and did a meet there. That's
pretty cool.
And then a guy that I worked with in the past was a diver, and one of the other girls was a swimmer, so I knew them from time that I was working. I mean, all of that stuff is fun to see.
Yeah, that's
It's
all at
outside the
Ramsey, though,
norm.
right? It's performing
Yeah.
at Ramsey. Speaking of like another little thing that only a few people might know, and when we were at UGA, we would go play pickup basketball in some of
Oh
the
my God.
some of the basketball courts outside at some of the dorms
We would
and around
think we were
campus.
playing
Summer
basketball.
There was one time. I know Will and I were specifically there. I can't remember, Jimmy, if you were there yet. Will and I went to play on court A in Ramsey.
Number one, yeah.
Court 1, which was like
Was this when people were on break or something, and there just wasn't?
it was nothing to do.
Or
Was
we
that
were
when we
just,
played against Arthur Lynch?
No, we played. I don't know. It was
it was either that or we were just lost.
He had a bandana.
We didn't
I
know
don't know
we were
how.
lost.
I don't know
So for
how-
our listeners that don't know, there's 4 courts at Ramsey, and the competition gets worse as you go farther down.
Yeah.
And so typically you start at court 4, and then you kind of work your way forward. So
Yeah.
if you won like 3 games in a row, you end up on court 1.
We were on
I was
one.
there.
Yeah.
And somehow we ended up on 1. We were like, this is not.
I just remember
gonna
the
go
first
well.
play. We he checks the ball to us. We check it in. He throws it up, and his buddy like goes up and like dunks it behind his back.
Slams
And we
it,
were just
yeah.
like tight.
Cool.
Like,
It's like
Yeah.
we're going to go play racquetball.
Yeah, I'm still lifting up my leg to dribble through it, and that's sums up my basketball.
But
game.
Ramsey was a really cool place. But I just kind of spoke to also the competitiveness and I guess the athleticism that was really on Georgia's campus. It wasn't like playing, and people can dunk and do all kind of stuff, but it was a very competitive, at least. What am I thinking of? Intramural landscape for UGA for not being on a sports team. It was
Were
A-League.
you guys
really
super
touch.
involved? I mean, I did stuff through the fraternity here and there. It was kind of just like, hey, we need an extra guy. I don't know that I ever like consistently stayed through a whole season. Did
No.
you guys ever do?
Yeah, I played flag football in pharmacy school. The guys that I went to school with took it pretty seriously. But there was
They have
there
like the
was-
wristbands for plays. Did you guys
No,
have
that was the
practice?
team that would knock us out of the playoffs. Because the thing about intramural at Georgia and probably everywhere is there's always some team that has like 2 guys that played quarterback in high school, and then they would just pass it back and forth to each other until somebody was open, and then just
Yeah, it's circus rules and flag
yeah,
football.
they have goofy rules. But I remember we were playing them, and they had this weird like wishbone thing where there's the center, and then the 2 quarterbacks were both offset off of him, so you didn't even know which one the center was going to snap it to, and then they would kind of play keep away with it, and then one guy just threw a dime like 70 yards down
So
the
it was
field, and we
fun.
were like, cool.
I was captain of the ATO softball team.
There you go.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. I had that on my resume too for a while.
Did you really?
You know how it kind
Still
of
there.
falls off after a little while. Yeah,
like
that was,
after the first week of work.
that was like that's like your prime, like just out of college resume, captain of the softball team.
Yeah.
Project
And
management
also
in
in
my
pharmacy school, I was
economics class.
all region slow pitch softball catcher.
Wow.
All region for your pharmacy team.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a
How
self-assigned.
big is the region?
I don't know. I was a slow
I think you
pitch
just made
softball
up that
catcher.
title and gave it to yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of like how we beat all 4 of us in fantasy and none of us are in the league. Kind of like that self-proclaimed.
Beat all
Basically.
y'all.
But
title as well.
fun tidbit. Actually, at Notre Dame, they have an intramural football team, but the university provides full pads and helmets
That's awesome.
for
cool.
the team. So I mean, you got to be pretty serious to be out there because it's obviously full contact.
Trying to find the next Rudy. Then
Well, they actually
seriously.
did. I think it was some time back. It might have been when Tyrone Willingham was coaching the team, or
yeah, I
when
remember
Charlie
that.
Weiss was on. They actually got one of
do
their.
remember that.
They got one of their punters.
Remember Charlie Weiss?
Yeah, he's a hard guy to miss. But they actually got one of their punters from that. But anyways, it's pretty cool because they compete within their dorms.
Oh, neat.
So like, there's no co-ed dorm, so you have a whole hall to choose from.
Brumby versus
and you can field
Russell.
You can field a whole team, but then the championship game of the season is actually played in Notre Dame Stadium.
That's cool.
And all of the
Georgia's
students-
intramural
all the
flag
students come
football,
in.
the championship was played in Sanford Stadium on the field.
Yeah,
And anybody could go watch.
that would be. I mean, I don't
Getting
know.
some hum.
I don't know how they get away with that and the liability that goes into that, but I wish Georgia would have
Yeah.
done something like that. Now, I mean, I have no experience ever playing football, so I don't know. I could maybe
Yeah.
stand up there and set a block, but I would be pretty awesome.
Yeah. No, I mean, I always enjoyed, playing intramurals is always fun. Soccer, I guess I played soccer all the way through growing up in addition to like football and basketball, but that was kind of the one that I was able to help translate even into intramurals in college. It was competitive. Everyone else kind of, like with flag football and stuff, either people took it very, very seriously or like they were like in the A League and like they stuck with
Yeah.
weights and everything else much more than we
Well,
did.
that was like the intramural basketball that we've all played since we got to Atlanta, like the church league basketball.
Yeah.
There's an A league, a B league, and a C league.
And you got sandbaggers.
Yeah, you just get you just sign up for one. There's no tryout process. There's no grading or whatever. So we were in the C league,
What?
and we would play these guys who all played travel basketball together in high school, and they've all been friends for like 10 years, and they'd beat us by like 60 points.
It was very fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's like,
when
why would you not sign up for the A league?
when you lose to a team of 4 people, it really
That happened.
They
the
also
leagues-
spotted
the
us
leagues
10
rule-
points.
Yeah,
And they
if-
didn't
if-
have any subs.
No.
They had no subs, and if you only bring 4 people, the other team is spotted 10
10
points as a punishment to your team for not showing up. And
That's right.
You lost.
I mean, I've been there. I was in a league in Greenville, and it was only people that I worked with at the time. And it was kind of a similar thing. We had a kid that was on our team that played for, I think, Coastal Carolina. So, I mean, he played college basketball,
Yeah.
which is, more than I could ever
yeah.
say. But it was like, I was so out of shape at the time, and obviously not much has changed. But I just remember, like,
Round doesn't
trying-
shape, Will.
yeah, I just remember trying to keep up with people as like I'm running down the court, and the length of my runs just continually shortened to eventually I'm just guarding and playing offense between the top of the 3-point line. Like that's inevitably where it falls. So
Yeah, no, that's too funny. I mean, it's kind of the same. I think I thought we could play up here in this league, but we quickly realized that we all pretty much peaked athletically in middle school, played through high school, and certainly had no business playing in intramurals.
Yeah, it turns out having a point guard is important in basketball.
everybody's like, man, if I could get back to my early 20s,
I had a really
if I could
great
get back to when I was 11, I was I was killing it in rec baseball.
I had a really graceful face plant trying to catch a guy on a breakaway.
Yeah, you did. That was
And
fun.
just even the ref,
It took you a long time to fall. Too.
Yeah, you slid a good ways, too. That was fun to watch.
the ref was like, "You all right?" I was like, "Leave me alone."
One time, listener Alex D'Agostino, remember when he got. Did he foul out of a game or whatever? He threw his
Something
mouthpiece.
yeah, he
I
threw
was
his
like,
mouth
why
guard
do you have
across.
I didn't even know he had a mouth guard. It's like it's
Is that
church,
are we supposed to have
it's
that?
church league basketball. What do you
Yeah,
know?
he had a good motor, high motor.
Yeah, the
He was
shooting
very
sleeve
quick.
too.
Yeah, Ed was a real gym rat.
I think so. Yeah, he was. Real
Gritty.
cerebral player,
Yeah.
It's what you like to see in a player.
no doubt. Guy who can move it around the court.
All right. Well,
Well,
that
we're-
was a tangent. What?
Hey,
Yeah.
I'm all for it. We're going to talk a little bit about another major Atlanta sport that may or may not, in the eyes of some people, have broken the curse. Now, some people are going to say that this team hasn't been around long enough. They haven't had as big of a following, which I would argue is completely ridiculous because they've sold out, I want to say, every one of their regular season games, and that is Atlanta United winning the MLS Cup in style. I think they shut out both of their games in aggregate scoring, if I'm not mistaken. They had a 3-0 win.
Did New York FC not even score a goal?
They
in New
scored
York?
in the second leg of the semifinals.
Did they? Okay. But
about it, though.
still an incredible showing by Atlanta United. And, it's crazy to think that was our first championship. But,
Since 96, yeah.
yeah.
Or since like the Dream when they won it in like 2013. But,
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
Give them
We're
their
talking
day.
about sports. So,
That's fair.
I read they did a study or an unofficial study that was they were asking random people in big cities, would you rather have your local WNBA team win a championship or have $5. And the majority of people took the $5.
I couldn't tell you.
That's at least
I'd
the
rather have
most.
$5 too.
It's at least the Moe's burrito.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
on Mondays.
Or a beer somewhere, a nice beer.
There you go.
But no, back to Atlanta United. That was fun. I mean, it's the whole season really, and the whole 2 seasons they've been here. It's been very fun to see how the city's adopted the team. Obviously, the success has been kind of breeded the success of the team has breeded the success of the organization, I guess, and how well the city has adopted it. And having a fun product on the field will make anything enjoyable. It'll make people go spend money. But it's been really, really cool to see how much of a quick of an upswing a destination city we are for soccer, at least. I know at MLS, I don't know how many big soccer fans we have, but like LA Galaxy, kind of the long-standing, most successful MLS team. A lot of the European players, when they get older, David Beckham, Ibrahimovic, I forget the other kid from Mexico.
Henry play there?
Henry played at New York Red Bulls. But they play in those big market teams that when they retire, they want to go somewhere there's some exposure, there's some money, that they enjoy. But I think we are slowly but surely showing that you can play in a big crowd, we'll pay you money, and you can win when you're over here too, and be a part of something fun. So it's kind of cool to see. If we can continue this in 4 to 5 to 6 years, I can certainly see us, if we maintain that, getting some big name players just to create some buzz and excitement. Granted, you kind of want to build some your homegrown and just have a fun team in itself and not rely on like a Wayne Rooney coming over here. But like, how much fun would it be to get like granted they're going to be
2-year-old Ronaldo.
I mean, they're going to be older, but how fun would that be? Like a Neymar in his older days, or like
that
would be so cool for them to be like, you know what? They have 70,000 people at their games. My jersey sales will be through the roof. Yeah. I can actually win. It's a fun city. Everyone there loves it. The crowd loves it. I'll be worshipped again just over in the U.S. Like. It's just kind of fun to see the culture that the city is creating to kind of really welcome that, and then obviously winning the MLS Cup, which is what we just did. I mean, that's pretty cool to say we are the we're the champs. That's fun.
Aren't a lot of people moving on though? Like, couldn't that create like a vacuum of this? Like,
Miguel Almiron.
So that's a danger, and I think the MLS
Coaches
itself.
For sure leaving.
Yeah, coach took Tata Martino accepted the head coach for Mexico international team. He took that job. Almiron is in talks with Newcastle, which is a team over in Europe. And then we just let Greg Garza walk, too, for a couple of $100,000s, which sounds funny compared to European soccer money. But that is a good point to bring up, though, David, because like the MLS really isn't going to compete with the Premier League in England or La Liga in Spain, which is like kind of the premier ultimate, classic soccer leagues. We're always going to be a stepping stone league. I mean, I think we can grow in popularity, but it's just kind of we'll never be able to join in that arms race, I don't think.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a great opportunity, right? You go, well, I'm going to go to Atlanta so I can then just move on right after that.
Yeah.
But if like this year was our year of doing that, and then we have all this experience and talent leave.
Yeah.
I don't really know like how that vacuum of players would occur. I mean, I don't know enough about development of soccer players and them coming into a league. I mean, it's obvious that, like Tyler mentioned, it's going to be a stepping stone league. But the draw is clearly there from a money side and from a fan worship side. I just think it would be cool to get these young players who can mesh on the field well and put a good product out there, because as you mentioned, Atlanta got it right. Yeah. Like right off the bat, which you don't see with a lot of news organizations.
From what I've heard, they basically went out there and they were like, well, our biggest thing we need to do right off the bat is sell tickets, like, because it's a brand new franchise, so let's go get a bunch of offensive players.
Yeah. No, I mean,
that's they kind of provided but they provided a blueprint for starting a franchise.
Yeah.
Like,
and let's be honest,
what can we do to sell tickets we can score goals?
With casual fans who maybe not have been lifelong soccer fans, that's what they want to see. They want to see
that's
goals.
The thing, because like I've never been. I mean, I'll watch the World Cup and stuff, but I'm not a huge soccer fan, so I'm much more likely to spend $50 to go to a game where we're averaging 4 goals a game than a half a goal a game.
That's a good point. I mean, it's just, I guess to that point, it's just fun to see us create that, do it right, do it quick. And to me, David, I think what it does for like soccer is if you have soccer tends to, as long as you have an organization, because that's like baseball. You have like a single A, triple A, double A, triple A. So we have like a youth league, U17, U16, U17, the academy. We have Atlanta United 2, which is kind of the next step, and then you get up to the big league. So it's just
those games run in. We go a lot.
Yeah, they
Didn't
are.
You just say that all the beers were gone?
This is the last one.
Yeah, you did.
Wow.
Classic.
All right.
But yeah, it's just so I think we have the we have the structure and the organization as a whole for if we keep it up and maintain it, people are going to want to come and get plugged into that. And I don't see necessarily being a vacuum. Granted, you got to maintain. It's only been 2 years. I've seen a lot of stuff on social media that was like, yeah, Atlanta, enjoy it now, but wait, give it 10 years down the road, and if you sputter, let me know how your attendance is then, which I can see that. I mean,
do you have a lot of friends on Facebook that are fans of other?
I mean, yeah, I like them on
teams?
Facebook, and you just go read comments, and people come on there and chirp and stuff. Yeah, I'm plugged
fair.
in.
No, he means like
Tyler's pretty deep
he
in the
means
game.
like if you're in Atlanta and you're not pulling for Atlanta United, you're not pulling for LA Galaxy. So like, wouldn't you still go unless it was just terrible to watch? I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and I think that's kind of the market we're in. There are some players or some people, I guess, in the city who've always pulled for like a bigger European team, kind of like pulling for the Yankees of soccer somewhere else. But now you have something
feel like you can
homegrown
do-
in your
you can do
backyard,
both.
which is
I mean,
no, you
it's-
definitely can.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, well, we can play
I feel
them.
like
but-
Atlanta United did a similar thing to what the Preds have done in Nashville.
Yeah,
And that,
okay.
like, I think it was a big group of people in a big city who, like, soccer was never a thing and they didn't really have a team. And then we got here and we were immediately successful, and everybody was like, well, I guess I'm a United fan. Like, the team's good. I live here. I don't have another team. Why not? Which is what the Preds have essentially done with hockey. It's a big transplant city, but I think it's a lot of people from the Southeast who never followed hockey. And now the Preds are good, so everybody's like...
I think a big draw, though, for the Preds is a lot of the times, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from their organization. I mean, they have been perennial contenders, for the past 4, 5, 6 seasons. They're incredibly talented and really fun to watch. But I think where hockey can make up for that is the other matchups that they bring to town. So when they play the Blackhawks, like being a Blackhawks fan, I would drive up to watch a game there because that's probably number one, the closest team that I can see. But also number two, there's no way you can get a ticket to see Chicago in Chicago.
Sure.
So, but where soccer lacks that is that, like, I don't know many people that say, like, well, I grew up a big Sounders fan. And, like, I'm really
That's
going,
fair.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like,
I don't know. I think they do a pretty good job in Nashville of selling out those games no matter who they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying that if the Preds' performance was down, they can fall back on, well, there's a lot of people that are here from other states that grew up watching other teams. Where in the MLS, you just don't have that. You don't have people that said, like, yeah, I grew up a big LA Galaxy fan, and, like, I'm making the trek across the state line even to come and see a matchup.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably not going to get that pull. So I think it's more of a danger of a drop-off in MLS soccer if your performance seriously declines.
Yeah.
But I think, to Tyler's point, and I think what we could all see is that if this trend continues, if the organization stays sound, if they can maintain consistent leadership and goals across the organization, that they can hopefully keep this model for success going and build fans internally without having to bring people to their games and sell tickets because of fandom from another team.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think it was also huge as we were the first really in the Southeast MLS team to really kind of rise to this success. Now I know Nashville's getting a team.
Isn't Miami getting a team?
Miami's getting it. They have a team, but they're moving up to the MLS.
I don't know how they couldn't have fielded a team with
that surprises
the
me that Miami
demographic that
doesn't
they
have a team.
have and the support that many of the
They
native
do.
Miami.
It's in the USL. It's called
But our
Giannis.
demographic of our Atlanta United team isn't a bunch of Atlanteans, so.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, like, typically in Miami, you have a lot of people who are like of Hispanic or Latino descent. And so typically they grow up just being soccer fans.
You just mean
in
like
general.
fan base.
Yeah.
I was like, you meant like, there's got to be a good player. A bunch
No,
of good
like,
players.
I'm saying, like,
It could be that people down there grew up watching, European soccer, and so they're like, well, I'm not going to watch like rinky-dink MLS that's here. The same way, like if I moved to Europe, I probably wouldn't be a huge fan of like the Rome Panthers, Italy football team. I don't know. I'm just
Orlando's
making
got
up
a team.
teams.
Orlando has
Yeah,
a team.
that's a big rivalry for
But
them.
I'm just saying, like, a group of people who like soccer isn't a guarantee that they would support a soccer team in their city because they may be used to seeing such a better product. Does that make sense?
I guess,
What
but
I'm
if you
saying?
think,
to me.
but if you think about a minor league team like in Gwinnett, like they still have a fair bit of draw because if people don't want to take a trek down to Atlanta and they still want to see a baseball
Cobb
game,
County.
that's in a
A stadium
at the time that I was there, it was in Atlanta. So to me though, you're gonna have. I look at it like you're going to have baseball fans, and if you're a fan of a sport, you would go to see
agree with that.
any kind of level of play. I mean, same reason why we would see
That's why we went and watched
a
high school
college
football.
Yeah, high school
College.
football last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler and I went to the high school state
Who
championship.
played?
We watched Northside play
Lee County.
Lee County's defense was nasty.
Yeah.
Jimmy said North Side. He had
North
Is it North Side?
I think Blessed Trinity was in the.
You just got to
They
say it
played
with
today.
a flow.
North Side.
Yeah, Blessed Trinity played today, which is Will's
North Side,
alma mater.
478.
The fun part that Jimmy and I got to see for the
Yeah.
GHSA state championships yesterday was Jimmy and I got to the bins late for the last few minutes and the 3 overtimes of the Warner Robins versus Bainbridge game. We showed up a little bit late, but supposedly I think Bainbridge was beating Warner Robins like 28-0 or 35-0 at half. Warner Robins tied at 35-35, took it to overtime. They ended up losing
3 overtimes, but Jake Fromm's little brother is the quarterback.
Dylan
for Warner
Fromm
Robins.
and Tyler Fromm are
And
both
Tyler
playing.
Fromm is a wide receiver.
So sure enough, behind us, who's sitting one row behind us? Jake Fromm and his entire family.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Did you guys get a picture?
So he was not in the business of entertaining
they were in a
anybody.
suite. So we were in the very last row of the 100 level, and then the suites were immediately behind us.
Yeah.
And he was in a suite with his family.
He was, I mean, as you would expect, he was pretty passionate. I mean, granted, he's a football player. He knows it very well, very smart football player. He knows what's going on. And then his brother's down there, so there's personal ties. So he was very, very, wrapped up into it. You could see him reacting and getting pumped up and standing up. And, he was emotionally involved with it.
So wait, his brother was on the team that won or lost?
Lost. He has two
Both of his
brothers,
brothers.
are the quarterback and wide receivers, or a wide receiver for Warner Robins.
Wow.
But there was one guy who walked up to Jake, and he was like, Jake. And he was just, it kind of got my attention. So I turned around and he wasn't even entertaining the
wasn't
guy.
really.
So some other guy in the kind of their entourage stood up and shook the guy's hand. And you could tell the guy was like, this isn't Jake Fromm. But he would some guy almost stood in for Jake to be like, what's up, man? Move it along.
Tyler and I just kind of
It makes
were
sense.
like, what's up?
he
knew us.
He
from
kind of just gave us the
the
From the
games.
pod-
He was
in
like,
the
oh, you guys were
podcast.
at Notre Dame, and you guys have that podcast. And we're like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's real, recognized real.
Right, exactly.
That situation.
Yeah.
So Warner Robins' head coach was actually
at Houston County.
well, no, he when I was at Northside, he was my JV and swim team coach.
He's a Northside grad.
Yeah,
For those who
on the
don't know,
swim team?
Northside to Warner Robins are.
You can swim.
What was your
around.
stroke?
not as good as Allen. I don't want to get into that conversation, but
Well, nobody swims as good as Alan.
Or does anything as good as Allen. For that matter. But yeah, no. So that's funny that you said that because Warner Robins is a huge rival with Northside. Warner Robins' head coach now graduated from Northside, coached Jake Fromm at Houston County, and is now the head coach at Warner Robins. So he's kind of touched all those are the big three.
I'm pretty sure the family
middle school.
The family moved houses districts.
No, they did. The Fromms even moved, I know, from Houston County District to follow him.
Yeah.
Because I think Jake had so much success with that coach. So, I mean, heck, it took I mean, they went
He's
to
a
the state
great guy.
championship.
He's a good coach.
And then Northside had a safety named Tubby.
Tubby McCall.
Tubby McCall.
God
That's
bless
a
Tubby.
football name.
That kid was a monster. He was
dude,
everywhere.
Sign him. That kid. He's gonna be underrated somewhere. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
Kirby.
was-
I know you listen. Preferred walk on. Tubby McCall.
Tubby
Northside
McCall.
High School.
Tackles. I think he got a.
Kid's just a football player.
He had a pick in the opening drive. He was all over the place. Tubby
Yeah.
McCall. Shout out Northside High School. Well, the reason we went, my mom taught at Northside for 44 years. So, I mean.
I went there for
Well,
two.
and then David went
Yeah.
there for a couple and kicked. David kicked in the state championship versus Statesboro.
Did you guys win?
Runner up.
Lost.
No, I scored 4 out of our 10 total points, and we lost to a field goal.
Yep.
Played on
So you were
Georgia.
basically the MVP.
I was a pretty high point scorer, unless
Only one other player scored more than David.
We played on a Georgia Southern's field because our 2 high school fan bases were too big to fit in either one of our stadiums. So we played on Georgia Southern's field, and I don't know, it was kind of controversial because the ground was soaking wet and it had never rained any in the time frame up to that, and our running game was really our big threat. And so we started hearing all these rumors that Statesboro High was practicing on a wet field all week, and someone left the sprinklers on too long, kind of thing. But you never know. Of course, those conspiracy theories get when you lose the game. Oh, the field was wet.
That's what makes high school
Of
football.
course, they're all
fun.
true.
Yeah.
Did Blessed Trinity win today?
I didn't
Anybody
check.
know?
I didn't see.
They were playing Cartersville, which is Trevor Lawrence's
Purple
alma
or Golden
mater,
Hurricanes.
who's,
Purple Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ACC Freshman of the Year over at Clemson.
Blessed Trinity was not super good at anything when I was there. They were good at women's sports, but and baseball.
What's that?
I will say baseball. They won the state championship 3 out of the 4 years that I was there.
Well, yeah, that
So
okay,
they were
all right,
decent.
But that was it. Our football team was trash. Basketball team was a joke. Although in high school you get behind every team that you have, right? I mean,
Sure.
it's a way to get out of the house and be with your friends. But
I was on the field, bro.
Yeah, I hear you.
Straight up athlete.
Well, I played tennis in high school, and we made it to the state playoffs every year. We lost in the Elite Eight every year because we ran into Westminster, and then we changed divisions and dropped down, I think, to 2A that next year. And after I graduated, and then they won the state championship.
Okay.
So
When I was in high school, the same team knocked us out of the playoffs all 4 years, and they were in our region, so I was 0-8 against them in high school.
does that keep you awake at night?
But yeah, I think about it every day. But Randall Cobb was a senior when I was a sophomore, so that was pretty cool. He's a wide receiver for the Packers now.
Is he still with the Packers?
Yep. Still on the team. They cut Jordy Nelson. They had to decide whether they wanted to keep him or Nelson, and they cut Jordy.
Blessed Trinity won 23-9.
Really?
Yep.
Cool. Shout out Titans. Tighten
Yeah.
up.
There you go.
A fun little fact about this is a complete tangent, but about
we can probably get off high school sports. Or you
about
about to continue it.
I'm going to tell one little story about how we got the name the Titans. So my high school was pretty new. I mean, built within the last 20 years, 15 years, I think. So I mean, that's new for high school.
Yeah.
And they left it up to, I don't know why they ever thought this was going to go well. They left it up to the students to name the mascot that they were going to use forever.
Ever. Yeah.
And the number one vote was the Meese, or the Moose. that was legitimately what they got.
That won.
The Moose.
Blessed Trinity Moose.
The
Was
Blessed
there
Trinity Fighting Moose.
Was there voter suppression in this?
Yeah. So the Fighting Moose was number one. The runner-up was the Fighting Penguins.
Oh God.
That'd be
I
kinda
think
fun.
I think both of those team names are legit. It's not like they were like the Bodie McBook faces.
I was
like,
going to
Are you about to defend these choices?
yeah, because
Pittsburgh
then
has a hockey team.
because they left it up
Penguins.
to a vote. They're like, all right, we're going to let you guys take ownership. The first full graduating class, like you guys taking ownership.
Yeah.
And they decided, and they're like, nope, we're going to be the Titans.
I like that.
If
I
you,
like
if, you
that.
let,
rid of it.
if you let enough people vote for something, like eventually something stupid will win.
But I don't think the
that's
Moose.
just
I
science.
legitimately.
That's just a rule of
I
thumb.
don't think that the Moose or the Penguin is a ridiculous team name.
Dude, you do
They're
not
not
need go
threatening.
Penguins.
Yeah.
Why?
What's
Go
your
Pengs.
rallying cry when you're like?
What is that? What
that's a crow.
does the Penguin
They
do?
say go Pangs, and
They just
the
have, like, a
Pittsburgh
weird, like-
Penguins are a hockey team. They won a bunch of
Yeah.
Stanley Cups. They're good.
But
But that's not.
dude,
I don't
yeah,
know.
nah.
Dude, the Moose is a
Hockey
minor
has
league
dumb
hockey
mascots.
Who?
team. The Moose.
I have no doubt there's
There-
always
there is-
schools.
there
named
was
this,
a,
or
There was like a public ferry in Sweden or somewhere that was the same thing. It was like there's a river
Going off
that
the
was
rails
going to.
here.
Yeah.
Well, it was gonna be a public, like a water
know if we ever
taxi that you
found
take
them.
like in Jacksonville to Georgia, Florida.
yeah,
Remember how
yeah.
you take that taxi across? So they did the same thing. They left it up to a public for what they wanted to name it, like the SS whatever or whatever, and its official name because they honored it as Ferry McFerry Face.
That's like England did the same thing with
This
this
is
is
public
why
voted.
maybe voting isn't
a submarine, and the English named it Bodie McBoatface.
seriously.
Yeah.
That's too funny.
Hey, I mean, you're asking for it.
Yeah,
You're gonna-
seriously. If you're
and
just
then
let
we had,
random people on the internet
Space
vote,
Force.
you get what you get.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Baseball.
that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. I mean, I wish we got a vote on ours, but yeah, I guess that's a good point. Yeah, but a bunch of high school kids, a bunch of 15, 16, 17-year-old kids
Yeah.
voting on.
See, but I kind of like that. Like when and David, I'm sure, like when you look at minor league baseball, like they all have these kind of like weird off-color
Yeah,
names.
yeah.
Like you know, you've got the Biscuits, like the Birmingham Biscuits.
Yeah.
is one.
I think
Or
they have like $1 beer night on.
Which is
In
it's
the
fun
summers.
because that's all we've known, but I'll miss the like
The
when
Macon
it was
Whoopee.
Macon, well, that was fun. Macon Braves, Gwinnett Braves, when it's uniform across
Yeah.
all. I like that. It's easy to track. Now it says Gwinnett Stripers.
Savannah Bananas.
We know it now, but now it's
Yeah.
kind of hard to follow who the hell sees
Somebody's the
into
Sand Gnats.
what
Macon
the major
Bacon.
league team.
I think it's
Macon-
Macon
the
Bacon. Right
Macon
now.
Bacon's a baseball team now. Yeah,
Really?
and
Really?
the Macon Mayhem is a hockey team now. Yeah,
it used to be the Macon Whoopee.
Macon
right?
Whoopee, which is the
Dude, that is-
all-time greatest
If I
sports.
need to find a jersey.
Can't. I've looked for you every year. Every Christmas, I'm like, let me see if someone's.
Can you
trying
find
to
a
find us
picture
one. Yeah,
and we can just have one
I'll fire
custom
it.
made?
I'll fire
Because
it up,
that is the best team name I've ever heard. But see,
pretty
I like
funny.
that. Like, and I think that's like more fun. And almost every minor league team embraces that, which I
Yeah.
think is cool.
No, it
Yeah.
is. It is.
There's a minor league Florida team called the Solar Bears.
I think there's a difference though in
Which is
between,
awesome.
like your school though.
Oh yeah.
As you can see,
Show the camera.
And camera here is a very good view. We'll post it. We'll
our
tweet it.
YouTube
We'll tweet it
viewers.
and post it. What's
Zoom.
cool about them making Whoopi is it's also very tongue in cheek because their mascot was a whooping crane, which is a bird, and there was a bee following it. So it was the bird and the bees. And making
Man,
Whoopi. So
they just kept going.
It just
Wow.
goes deeper and deeper.
Somebody,
Yeah, I'm telling you, Macon was ahead of its time.
Not in today's day and age, though.
I think it's
No.
Get away
you
with
can't
that
have
now.
fun like that
in
anymore.
this PC culture we live in.
I think it's different if it's your school though. Because you get real into your school colors. You buy tennis shoes with your school colors, and you're out there like, gee, I don't know, penguins.
But there's some
I don't
goofy
know.
ones. Like I think TCU is a weird one.
Penguins are black and
The
yellow.
horned
That's a
frogs.
pretty classic color
Oh,
combination.
it wasn't about the colors. I just mean you get that school spirit, and you don't want a dumb school mascot. I mean,
Yeah,
the
I
horned
agree.
frogs
like the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, that's
What does
another
that even
stupid
mean?
one. Yeah.
or the 15 teams that have the name the Tigers as their mascot.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
pretty dumb.
I mean, if they just stuck with Plainsmen, they knew they had to get away from that.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Auburn is on the plains of Alabama is what they call it. So they call their whatever, I forget, I don't know what Georgia calls them, but the guys that are wearing the blazers or whatever in the game.
The Arch
Bastard.
Society.
The Arch Society, that is the plainsmen
Plant-
is their
plantation
Arch
owners?
Society.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's where that
weird.
goes. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, I know that, but that is
get
where
out.
that comes
Just
from.
get out.
There, UC Irvine is the anteaters.
Yeah, see that's
And then UC Santa Barbara is the banana slugs.
Yeah, the banana, that's where I was going with.
Yeah, that's bad. Yeah.
I like that though.
Okay.
I think that's
All right,
awesome.
well,
I think it's kind of fun.
teaches
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
They play baseball out there. I don't
Banana
think they do much
slugs.
else.
Yeah.
UC Irvine, they have a thing. It looks like a Texas Longhorn, but they say Zot. I don't know why, but that's
Well,
a
at
thing they
least
would
those
do.
are
like
some-
a gator chomp. They'd be like Zot Zot.
At least those are something like the Syracuse Orange Men.
Orange men.
It's just orange now, I think.
Why?
Is it?
Mhm, Syracuse orange.
Sexist.
It's like the
Orange people.
It's like the Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah, isn't that the color now? But it used to be the tree. Their
Who
their
the
mascot
hell
is a
knows?
tree. But
Yeah.
they're technically just the color.
The color. Yeah, I don't
Stanford's
know.
the worst.
Bizarre. Okay, yeah, it's hot take there by Will.
Yeah, I don't mind
I
Stanford.
think just
Out of the blue, you have just hatred towards Stanford.
I think Stanford
No,
is the
well,
it's the
closest,
worst.
thing to the SEC outside the SEC.
Ooh, that's a big
They
call.
play that
Wow,
hard
that
nosed
is
defensive
That is
football.
wait.
Who's closer?
What?
What they play SEC football at Stanford?
You talking about the style of play?
Yeah, they just
Oh,
play.
okay.
They play intense defense and they run the ball and they.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
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 it's not like this
That's
air
fair.
raid Big
Okay.
12
No, I agree with that.
type
That's fair.
offense.
For what you're looking at, yeah, at face value, I agree with Jimmy.
The only reason I say that I hate Stanford is, I mean, they
you're a
match
Notre
up
Dame
against
fan.
Notre Dame every year, but there's just a long-standing history between the students and of Stanford and Notre Dame and the way that they carry themselves, and there's a lot of stories that have
Thrown chicken wings.
come to light. So
Have you ever seen the thing? It was like in the 40s probably, but it was the Yale versus Harvard game. And a bunch of Yale students dressed up in like Harvard Spirit Squad, whatever. Like they were Harvard, and they set out a bunch of
Oh yes, I've heard this.
they set out like a bunch of stuff on each chair that they were like, it's gonna say, go Yale or
Yeah.
whatever, go Harvard. I'm forgetting who was who. But yeah, they were like, everybody hold it up all at once, and it'll say like "Go Team" or whatever. And everybody held it up, and it said "We suck."
serious?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that's pretty.
That is
funny.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's something like Tech would aspire to do, I feel like.
Yeah.
Speaking of Tech, actually, and kind of petty, smart schools like Stanford that play different football, Tech is actually going to be playing different football now, too, because they got a new coach, Jeff Collins.
What is his style of offense?
He played,
I haven't really
he
looked
was
into him
Temple.
that much.
He was at Temple before he came
I
to
don't
Tech.
know.
I don't know
I
anything
don't
about
really
him.
care about him either. I guess I don't know if anyone heard, but he took that shot at Georgia, saying like people want to come to Tech over the other school in Georgia because academics or a degree from there matters. That was his first thing he says at his first press conference, which I don't even.
I mean,
Not here to
I
play.
don't mind
Dismiss
that.
it, but
Not here to
He-
play
he-
school.
He knows who he's like pandering
Exactly.
to.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
knows
his
what he's
job
doing.
is to beat Georgia,
Yeah.
and then there's 9 other
Again,
games.
I think
he's not
that's-
going to do it, but
reiterating a little brother program when your
Yeah.
sole hatred is to just talk about. I mean, Lane Kiffin did it at Tennessee when he was like, "We're here to beat Florida. We're here to beat blah blah blah." Blah. All the loudmouths that come in like that typically don't. Kirby didn't walk in talking smack.
One of my cousins went to Tech, and he started in engineering,
nerd.
and he just
They all do.
by like calculus 13, he was like, I'm over this. I don't want to do this anymore. So he ended up switching to management, and I think later on he was like, man, if I'd have known
why
this
didn't
is
I
how.
go to
Yeah, he's
Georgia?
like, I wish
Yeah.
I'd have just gone to Georgia. Like if this is how it
Says every
panned
nerd
out.
that ends up in that stupid campus.
Yeah, but it's
Anyways, there is an event on In We Go. Actually, I was going to see, speaking of college basketball, we were talking about earlier.
Oh, Tech Notre Dame.
Tech Notre Dame.
I saw that.
Notre
I was
Dame,
going to text you. I forgot.
Yeah,
But
Notre Dame usually has a pretty good team. I don't follow Tech really.
When is it? I'll go.
January, I think.
Yeah.
January
Can we
5th
claim it
or
yet?
something.
Can we do it right here, right now?
I don't
on
think
the air?
so, but I would definitely go to see that. I mean, I'm actually going to be seeing Notre Dame hockey game when we're up in South Bend, and then the Winter Classic that they have outdoors. But seeing,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Seeing Notre Dame play would be pretty fun, and again, it's on In We Go. So
Yeah.
you know.
I'll tell you what, a little switch up of sports, and speaking of getting tickets and going to see things, the girlfriend and I were actually gifted free tickets to the Nutcracker at the Fox this past weekend. It was opening weekend, too. It was very cool.
Wills, aren't you going to that?
It's very cool.
On Sunday?
Yeah, at Gwinnett Infinite Arena.
There you go.
So
Yeah,
not, not quite the Fox. I don't know if it's the same performance.
It's not. No, the Fox is the ballet, so I don't know exactly what the one at the Infinite Energy Arena is. But if you haven't been
elementary school play
for a date night at the Fox, that's a pretty good seasonally appropriate, obviously, Christmas date night to go check out the Fox. Really cool production. I'm not a ballet guy, not an opera guy, or a guy
Really?
with arts. I'm not. I know it's a shocker to most.
with that accent. You had me fooled.
I haven't known to be a Renaissance man every now and then, but it was a good time. It was a good production and it was fun. And
Fox is a
I'd
cool
recommend
venue.
going. Yeah, it's
I like
My
going to seeing
Christmas
shows at
party's
Fox.
there tomorrow night.
Really?
Is it in the Egyptian ballroom?
Jeez.
That's pretty cool.
It's in one of those rooms.
Yeah,
I'm
they have
not
a
sure if
few.
it's that, but
Damn.
There's that and the marquee.
some
club.
terrace. I think it's called something terrace. Like I don't know.
Mezzanine.
So let me ask you this. I want to know because my Christmas party is also tomorrow, and it's just at like some restaurant. Are they footing the bill for all of your food and drinks?
Yeah, I mean it used to be. Well,
This
it's
podcast is getting like very personal.
well, it's like apps, and then they do beer and wine.
And they pay for.
Yeah,
all
I
of
don't
your-
pay for anything.
It sounds like Will's company is not paying for alcohol.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
They
about it.
are footing the bill for dinner and 2 drinks, which I think is
That's how
what
my
I'm
company.
Can you
used to
reallocate
be
your
when we had a
resources?
Christmas party?
it used to be such a great country.
That's more than what I'm getting. I'm not getting a Christmas party.
I don't have a Christmas party. I have a
Be thankful for what you get.
I have a drug rep dinner at a Mexican restaurant tomorrow, and I might get a free drink if I'm lucky.
Okay, where are you
But
at?
it's-
TNT.
No, it's at Papacitos.
Okay.
in Marietta.
Sounds like a classy joint.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna wind down the show here, but I do want
If anyone
to.
is still listening
Yeah.
besides Brent.
But this is my favorite part because I want to do a Mount Rushmore discussion.
Okay.
Okay.
This is totally unscripted.
This is totally
unlike the
unscripted.
rest of the show.
This might even be one we've already done. So I don't know.
My mom just texted me. Speaking.
Um,
people who are still
this
listening.
Mount Rushmore discussion, we're going to stick with the holiday feels, and we're going to talk about and identify the best Christmas movies that you guys watch every year during the holiday
This
season.
is too easy. This is low hanging fruit.
There's a lot of them, though.
Tyler going Die Hard.
I mean, that is a good Christmas movie,
Okay, so that's
but that's not on my Mount Rushmore.
see. There's the jury's still out for me on that one. Great movie. I don't know that I lump it in with
No, I was
classic
totally,
Christmas.
I was totally
let's-
kidding.
Let's let Tyler go first. For
Christmas Vacation is by far my
Really?
favorite. Oh yeah,
Really?
I mean it's
Christmas
dude,
Vacation's
it
a
never
good
gets old to me, and I know some people find like the slapstick kind of humor.
I think
and
it's
goofy.
hilarious.
It's so quotable. Cousin Eddie, even like
Cousin Eddie's a good costume. If
he's
you ever
good.
Have to go to like
And then,
a
like,
Christmas theme party.
Russ is funny. You know, Clark's hilarious. Even like Margot, the neighbor with her douchey husband, like they're hilarious.
No, Margot.
Well, somehow the carpet got wet, Todd. I love it. It's funny every year. My dad and I, my brother and I, will watch it and we laugh. And Christmas Vacation, hands down, is my favorite Christmas movie to watch every year. Also, before we even take off, and this might be on someone's Mount Rushmore, but just for I guess reaction, I've never seen Elf. So
You've never seen Elf?
never seen Elf, and I get
Oh
that
my
every
gosh.
time.
You
Why not?
of all people who profess to be a huge Christmas fan,
Big Christmas
and you've
guy.
not
I've
seen
never
Elf.
seen
Is this
Elf.
okay? Let me ask you this.
Are you doing it just to be Eddie?
No,
at this
no, I
point?
guess not. I really have never.
I think
can
it's
watch it
exactly what
tonight.
that is. I think that is exactly what that's. The same guy. I don't have an Instagram. So
Now
I-
that
I don't
that's
have an
because I'm
Instagram.
married to just I'm old school, man. Zanga, find me on Zanga and Facebook. That's it.
no.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
no,
stupid.
I'm not actively choosing to not see Elf. I just have yet to sit down and watch. I've seen bits and pieces, and haven't really grabbed my attention. But
We're all going to come over here one day after work. We're going to sit down and we're going to watch
Knock
Elf.
some
Yeah,
beers out
no,
and watch
no,
Elf.
no podcast next week. The
Okay.
cast of this
Elf.
podcast is watching Elf.
Dude.
Elf, eggnog, and beer.
Director's cut.
I am all on board with that, dude. That's got to be one of my favorites.
I was gonna say so. I'll leave out Elf because I was gonna say it. It was between that and Home Alone for me. I
That's
love me some Home
One
Alone.
or
Home
two.
strong.
Home Alone 1. Yeah, Home Alone 2 Lost in New York doesn't make any sense because all the streets are numbered and it's impossible to get lost in New York.
I don't know.
It's
know.
literally
I've been lost
it's a grid system.
Before.
Well, if we're taking
but
everything so literally,
I'm just saying.
That's
but-
where Jimmy draws the line.
Yeah, that's
Really?
that's the height of realism in that movie. That's where I
nothing
stopped.
obscure happened in one, but getting
No.
lost in New York is
Everything
out of
that
the
Kevin did to
question.
protect the house was totally realistic in my
Also,
opinion.
let's just
But
focus
the
on
way-
one very
Okay.
rewatchable movie. Love that movie. Kevin McAllister's parents are
Horrible parents.
idiots. They let
Yeah.
a 8-year-old kid pack for France by himself.
Yeah.
What the heck? And then they leave it to a kid to do the head count before they get in the van to go. Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
in this
His-
They
entire
can't even get
his-
up on time.
His
Also,
parents are terrible.
I know
and then the
everyone's
dad
seen
when
the
they get to France and the dad is like the mom is the only one that has like a proper reaction for
Yeah.
a parent. She's like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes, and the dad's like, well, we could just take a direct flight and we'll get back 7 hours later. I was like,
Yeah, which makes
whatever.
sense. Total dad move. But I mean, also, and I know we've seen
He's
the meme.
fine.
But when
Yeah.
you go back and look at the McAllister's house, what truly did Kevin McAllister's dad do?
Also,
Yeah.
who's flying the entire family to
Flying the
Paris
entire
at
family
Christmas.
and to have the house and to leave his Christmas lights on planned the entire time he was gone.
That's a power bill.
I mean,
right
that's
there.
a hell of a power bill.
Yeah.
I want to do what
Not
he
to
does.
mention dangerous. Yeah. So Kevin McAllister's dead. Holler at us.
Well,
Tweet
he,
us.
he wasn't a very good father, so
He also
he's
passed away
obviously at the
recently.
office. a
Did he
lot.
really?
He did. He passed away within the last few years.
R.I.P. in peace. I
Yeah,
apologize.
he was a big part.
Also,
of-
Kevin's brother looks like Freddie Freeman.
Buzz. Yeah. Well, Freddie Freeman looks like Buzz. Let's be
Well,
honest.
yeah.
Buzz was on the scene first, and
Yeah,
his
that's true.
girlfriend, God bless her, maybe she.
Did you know that?
You know.
Fun fact about that movie: Buzz's girlfriend is Buzz dressed as a girl. Because
No,
the,
it's not.
yeah, because the director didn't want to have a picture of a girl that was like
That ugly.
she existed just to be ugly. He
That's
felt like
fair.
that would be too mean, so he
Okay.
had the actor Buzz dress up like a girl, and that's what
That's
the photo
awesome.
tells us.
know
I did not know
That's
that.
pretty good.
Yeah.
The movie just got
There's a
better.
little Easter egg for anybody that's still
Very
listening
good.
to
Good
it.
That
movie.
is
Good choice,
awesome.
though. Good choice.
All right, Will, what you got?
So I got to go. I mean, there's a few. So, up there is definitely a Christmas Story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that
Christmas
is
Story's a good one.
that is a classic.
They'll shoot your eye out.
Yeah, they play the crap out of that on
Yeah,
Christmas.
They
and
do.
so-
24 hours. Yeah.
The O fudge moment.
Yeah.
When,
That's,
uh,
not,
when
that-
he-
that's just a
when
fun
he
movie,
loses the
man.
lug nuts.
Yeah.
Heartwarming.
Yeah.
He gets what he wants for Christmas, despite everything.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
But I also
Yeah.
like, and I'm
Some
gonna
people have- I was gonna
lump
watch it
in.
tonight.
I'm gonna lump in like a few movies more of like a genre of Christmas movies, and that is like old school classic Christmas movies. So like White Christmas, White Christmas.
Miracle on
Yep.
43rd, 34th.
Yeah, Holiday Inn. Like those are
It's a
ones.
Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those like I love to watch because I like that time
I love
period.
that stuff, too.
I
I
like
do, too. Yeah.
the formality
Yeah.
and the way
Yeah, I do,
that
too.
people
Yeah.
conducted
Stuck in time.
themselves. So like for
Speaking
me,
my language, Michal.
that is very nostalgic of like.
We used to watch It's a Wonderful Life on VHS,
Yeah.
like on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
And I grew up watching those movies like specifically with my parents.
Yep.
So for me, it's very nostalgic of Christmas. So that one is definitely up there. The other one, which like I get weird reactions to, some people are like, "Oh, dude, I love that movie," and some people are like, "That is the worst Christmas movie ever," and that is Jingle All the Way.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger? That's a good one. I was talking about this at work last
good
week,
one.
and I
That's a
said
good
that
one.
one.
I
and
love that
I
one.
got the reaction from all my coworkers that they were like, "What are you talking
Yeah,
about?"
like,
And I was
that's
like, "I
terrible.
love that, man."
Dude, that
Turbo
movie
Man
is
and is it
hilarious.
Brainiac? So it's funny. So
Yeah.
Melissa had
Sinbad.
never seen that. Sinbad, the girlfriend had never seen that. So last year, if you go on, if you have Xfinity, they have like a little Christmas. They picked out like 20 or 25 movies that you can watch, and like Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, Christmas Story, Turbo or Jingle, they're all on there.
Mm-hmm.
So we ran through the gauntlet last year, and she had never seen Jingle All the Way. She did not
Really?
appreciate it. Which
She
I
didn't
think
like it?
I think it's one of those things like a Disney Channel original
Yeah.
movie where you
Yep.
grew up with it. You're like, this is like Will said,
Yep.
it's so nostalgic. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I remember this as a kid every
Yeah.
year. There was also when we were younger. What was that Snow Day movie that came on at Christmas all
It's
the
called
time?
Snow Day.
Is it on Nickelodeon? Was it on Nickelodeon or something? like that?
I think it
can't
was like a
remember.
Nickelodeon movie,
Yeah,
but it
that
was
was
in
a good one too.
theaters.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like one of those things, but yeah, good call.
And I remember watching those
Well,
like
is it going on?
claymation movies.
Dude, I
with
love
Rudolph-
so
Rudolph
Rudolph
the Red-Nosed
Reindeer.
So we watched all those last year too. I love.
I love those.
So it's like with the Wintermeister and all
Yes.
that. And all,
Yeah.
So those are actually called stop motion. I looked this up because I love
Okay.
those movies too. I thought they were made out of clay. It's called that kind of art, which David's laughing because he's into the. I'll say the arts.
This is like common sense to producer Dave.
I didn't know this.
We're
Yeah.
learning, right?
But
South Park.
anything behind a camera and that, yeah. But like anyway, so those little old claymation people call those Santa and Rudolph movies are called stop motion movies.
I love those
they're
movies.
not clay. They're like little wooden figures they just continue to move.
And I did, we didn't go on Black Friday. We went the next day when it was like, just normal running to the store. We went to Walmart and they had this huge thing of movies, which was like pretty cool because we got regular ones, but they had a ton of those old movies on like Blu-ray and DVD for like nothing, and we picked up like 7 or 8 Christmas movies.
So that takes me to a good point before we move on to your other genre.
I thought I was gonna get.
You are. Hold on, I'm going to be quick. How do you? Well, this might be a question for you. What is the best, or how do you guys collect movies now? Because like I'm the same way. There are certain stuff like that where I definitely want to watch it when it, but like it may not be on Netflix. Or like if I want to watch one of those, let's say it's not on Xfinity's On Demand or Netflix. It's like
I buy them.
I truly
I haven't bought a physical copy of a movie in like 4 years.
Neither have I. So if you're not doing that, do you buy yours like on iTunes, Amazon? Like
Amazon.
So like it's hard.
Physical copies?
No, you buy the
Streaming
digital
copy.
download. But so like, how do you pick which platform you want to marry your collection to? Because if you buy it on through
See,
like a
that's
Google,
why you don't do that.
then you get stuck. And then if you want to cancel your subscription, it's just stuck over here on.
That's
iTunes,
why I picked Amazon. It's the most agnostic to any ecosystem.
So it's like I know where you're
Totally.
going with this.
Those
So
are
it's
some words.
no, I get it. So it's
What does
on.
that
It's
mean?
on Roku. It's on Amazon Fire Stick. It's on
But see-
Chromecast. It's on all that.
But let's say that Tyler had never seen Elf, and I bought Elf, and I was like, yeah, I'll just bring it next podcast. I would have to give him the login to my Amazon.
That's true.
I mean,
So to me,
but
it's-
this is me collecting movies for myself.
No, that's what I mean.
I get it. To me, I don't know. I'm old fashioned. Like, I want to have
I get that.
a disc because I want to see like all of my options in front of me. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love HBO. I love Amazon Prime. I love Netflix. Like, I watch consistently shows and movies across all of those. But when it comes to like, I don't want to like scroll through and look at like a ton of B-list movies on Netflix
I get
to find
that.
one.
Well,
and I'm like, oh wow, they have this.
The formats get
agree.
annoying because you go from VHS, that's out. Then you get
Well, that's where I was going.
standard definition DVD, that's out. Blu-ray, that's out.
4K
Now it's 4K.
Blu-ray.
You
Now
know,
it's HD Violet or whatever.
But you can
streaming.
still play on.
I don't know any of those things.
So I
I
mean,
just
if you,
stream.
But if you have a regular Xbox, you can watch DVD, Blu-ray,
You can
or
do
if
it
you have
all.
a new one,
You
you
can
can
do it
watch it
all.
all. So like, I bought a couple movies
Not
that are.
unless you update the Xbox and have Wi-Fi for some reason, because I was defeated by my Xbox when I tried to watch A Quiet Place.
Well, it's
First
an
world problem.
app.
An
Quiet
Xbox, a
Place.
PlayStation, 2 laptops, and my TV, and I ended up returning it to Netflix. I still haven't seen the movie.
I saw A Quiet Place in the flight to.
I heard it was great. I wish I could have seen
okay.
it, but my Xbox wouldn't play it.
It was a good movie. The thing about it, and we're gonna get to David. I'm sorry, we're just rambling. The Quiet Place movie is you get so I think I can see the art behind it, the talent behind it. You get so drawn in to it being quiet the entire movie. Like you don't even think about getting spooked because you're just like paying attention to like hand signs and or sign language and all that stuff. That when it finally jumps, it's
Well, I
you
watched
appreciate
instead
it.
a movie called Would You Rather on Netflix. That
And?
was kind of like a
Oh, I saw that.
B-list
Horror
version of
movie?
Saw.
I've
It was
seen
one
that.
of the worst movies I've ever
seen that.
seen.
Yeah, it's
It
horrible.
was like they actively tried to make a bad movie.
They might have.
All right, David, let's hear
Okay.
let's hear your picks here.
all right.
Bringing it back in. Christmas movies,
All
Mount
right.
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore of Christmas movies. What do we got?
So I thought I was gonna have the dark horse with A Wonderful Life, but you guys picked that one up at last minute.
Will and I are old
That's
souls.
like the most.
Yep.
Yeah,
like,
I know,
common
but
Christmas movie.
um,
I have a fun fact about that movie too, but you can go first.
I'm kind of a Grinch when it comes to A Christmas Story. It has played in the background at
get that.
every family Christmas event, not to watch, just in the background every year of my life that I can remember things. So I just, man, I can't do it. I'm not a very like repeat movie
Yeah.
watcher. The two that I thought about, and these, at least one of them you don't think about being a Christmas movie. I really like the Jack Frost movie.
Yeah,
but
when he becomes the snowman.
the dad becomes the snowman. That was a really good one. I really like that one. And then, oh man, what was the other one? I'll have to.
Who's in it?
We put you on the spot here. Didn't give you enough time.
Well, we went on a bunch of tangents.
We did.
now.
That's us. That's us though.
I can do my fun fact about It's a Wonderful Life.
Let's
What do
hear
you
it.
think? If you want. That movie was actually like a box office flop, and nobody actually liked it when it came out. And the only reason it's so big now is because the studio forgot to renew their like copyright to it or whatever you have for movies, and so it became public domain. And ABC just needed something to fill space in between movies
way.
actually people like, so they just like played the crap out of that movie over a couple Christmas seasons because it was free for them to put on the air, and then it developed like a cult following like 10 years after it actually came out.
It's a classic drop out of high school and become a millionaire.
Yep. The other one I was thinking was the Santa Claus movies with Tim Allen.
Wow.
Yes.
That's what I was like.
Yeah.
Honorable mention has got
That
to be
is
the
a great
Santa
one.
Claus.
I don't know if I.
Santa Claus 2, don't they like go to the North Pole and stuff?
Yeah, well, he has to find a Mrs. Claus in
Yes.
Santa Claus too.
Now there's more after that, and it kind of gets like more bizarre. But I think the first two were definitely
I really like the
solid.
first one.
I don't know the second one, but the first one was really good. You have to read the clause.
David, didn't you see
pretty good.
Bernard in New York or something one time? Wasn't that you?
That might have been Reese. He sees
that Reese?
everybody.
I don't even. Is that a play? I don't.
No, Bernard
Bernard's
is
like the
his like
tall
elf, like his.
You
his
claim
elf
to
parents.
love that movie,
It was
and you
Reese.
don't know who
it was,
Bernard
It was
is.
Big Gator Reese.
Big Gator Reese.
Yeah, he lives in the studio. He lives in the studio's attic. But he was in New York City one time, and he saw the actor that played Bernard. Also, the actor that played Ralphie in A Christmas Story is
Really?
one of the not that Reese saw him, but that actor is in the movie Elf. He's
Really?
he's an elf at Gimbals.
Yeah.
Is that a made up? Is that a real place? Or did they just make
I
it
don't
up
know.
for?
I think it's made
I think
up.
it's like a knockoff FAO Schwartz, but
Or
or
Macy's.
Macy's. Yeah, because it's a department store. FAO Schwartz is a toy store, but he's like one of the employees there that's like in a bad mood because they're behind schedule and stuff. Is Ralphie from?
Classic
Nice.
Ralphie.
We'll tweet out the screenshot
little
of that.
fact.
It's because he shot his eye out, or almost did.
Yeah.
He's still bitter.
But he got to be coworkers with Zoe Deschanel. So
At a retail store.
still.
Jeez. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up tonight. We appreciate all of you joining us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube. From all of us here in the studio to all of you guys out there, we want to say thanks and go Dogs.
Go Dogs. Merry Christmas.